Today, we speak to a FIFA Under-17 winning coach. Look at Hearts transfer situations and what Inter-Allies are doing in preparation for the upcoming season. My name, as always, is Asante Samuels, and this is The Beautiful Game. Having put out the calendar for the 2013-2014 league, some clubs have started their preparation towards the season. We visited the training camp of new entrants Inter-Allies at the Tema Stadium, where they had a justifier to bolster their squad for the coming season. Congratulations, coach, for your qualification.
Thank you.
Okay. So, what is the exercise here all about today?
Well, the exercise here, first of all, to see if we can get other talents to add up to what we already have, and then start preparation towards the league. You know, we qualified based on our performance, and I believe even though we did well, there's not every single player that did well. There are certain departments in the game that we need to beef up, and we're trying to see if we can get people in this justified preparation apart from the players that we might take outside. So this is basically to get players to fill in possible positions in the team.
So far, what's your impression?
Well, it's been very fruitful because at least we've been able to identify talents, not preferably in our Premier League or in our Premier team, but also we have a Division 2 that they can fill in. And I believe there are talents that we can tap on. When you give them some time, I believe we can unearth talents like we did with Clifford Abache.
So don't you think going into the new season, not going with experienced Premier League players like other teams are doing, whereby they are signing, players who've played in the Premier League, don't you think that will affect you?
You said a team, and that is what we are building. We are not building individuals, we are building a team. And one of the secrets that we were able to qualify was because of the teamwork that we have been able to develop. Like I said, no player is indispensable, but the team can be dispensable. So what we are doing is that we are continuing with what we did in Division 1. The players that we had already, they are there already. But you look at the matches that we are going to play, there are many. You look at suspensions, red cards, injuries. You realize that you need more to beef up the team, and that's what the exercise we are doing now.
What are your pre-season plans?
We are planning to move, if all plans goes well, we'll move to the Eastern region. Because we have to put the boys in a very good shape so that they can be ready for the big tournament, which is the Premiership. So we are planning to move to the Eastern region.
So looking at what happened here today, how effective is this way of scouting players compared to you going out and seeing them play in their individual teams?
Our team has earned some respect, and people are following our game and the way we do things. So people are coming forward with players that they have scouted all over the country, trying to introduce them to us, for us to select the best out of them. So it has made our selection very easy because the players are coming, and sometimes on a particular training session we sometimes have about 87 players, and at the end of the day we're able to select just about 20 or 23, and they keep coming like that. So when it happens like that, you don't need to go out because you have a lot to deal with. So I think that is the best way because it saves costs and it helps you to be at one place and do your job.
So looking at everything that went on today, what was your impression?
It was good. At least we were dealing with unknown players, and that is the area we want to develop, unknown players. Then we get the star out of them. Typical example is Abuaji. If Abuaji were to go to Kotoko or Haas, when they look at his size, nobody will give him any dog chance. But that is one good thing about Allies. We want to deal with unknown players. People were telling me, go and look for experienced players. The experienced players started from somewhere. And there are a lot of young people who want to play football, who are serious with the game. They are not interested in the sign-on fee you are going to give them. They want exposure. So those are the guys we are looking for. People who are hungry for success. And people who are interested in the amount of money you pay to them before they play. Those guys are not committed to your club. It's how much you pay is where their interest is. And when you have those players, you can't have your peace in your club. And that is not what we are looking for. We want talents to develop them because we are into youth development. So those are the areas that we are zeroing.
So that was Inter-Allies and their preparation towards the upcoming season. I also caught up with the PR of Hearts of Oak in regards to the upcoming talent hunt that they will be holding at the LWAC Stadium.
Well, Accra Hearts of Oak has an enviable reputation when it comes to unearthing young talents and developing them into international stars. That was the case in those days when we had young talents like Ali Jara, Yao Preko, Ablade Kuma, Shamokwei, and the rest. And one thing that everybody says about our new MD is the fact that he is a true Hearts of Oak man and knows the traditions of the club. And among the traditions of the club is the knack for unearthing talent. And so one of the things he's seeking to do is to revive that tradition so that we can produce young talents on a regular basis who would go on to graduate into the senior side. Such players have often proven to be exceptional, and if you go down the lane, the players that I have mentioned, Ishmael Ado, Shamokwei, they've always proven exceptional, and he believes that that is the way to go as far as the development of our
I think Selassie J of Amadeus, yeah. Have you signed him yet, and do you think he will be a good replacement for your striking he will be a good replacement in your striking options?
There is no denying the fact that Mahatma has been a key figure for Hearts of Oak, and that is departure leaves a void. But if you look at the local scene, Mahatma was followed by Mohammed Yakubu of Ashgold on the Goal King chart, and it's Selassie who came third jointly with Yahya Mohammed with 10 goals in 19 league matches. That is a very decent return for a young chap like that. So he has got the talent. A ready-made replacement for Mahatma he might not be. It might take him some time to really settle into his strides, but we're very confident that, just on a cursory look at his record, he is the best person on the local scene now for anyone who wants a very good striker. So the coaches are very confident they will be able to work on him for him to be able to prove a worthy replacement for Mahatma Utu by the close of next football season.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It used to be when Hearts of Oak was mentioned, the next club you will hear was Olidade, but currently they are nowhere to be found. I spoke to a former player of this once great team, and this is what he had to say regarding the issue.
I don't go around, and I know of one problem. I don't go around now, but it's just sad that Olympics is in the second division, and they are trying to come up. But I know Olympics have one problem. they always have that problem when I was there. And I could see that problem is still pending. And if they don't get out that problem, I don't see them coming back to, yeah. And if they are not able to, because when I was there, we had those problems. But for our commitment to the game, you know, we would have faced the same problem. Yeah. So I think that they need to sit down and then do their homework properly, and then maybe they can come. Because Olympics, we've always had talented, good footballers, perfect footballers. But then, you know, but for managerial and administrative problems, you could see, you know, we'll be having problems in the league somewhere along the line, you know, yeah.
Is cold football dead? What about the Premier League itself? Is it as exciting as it used to be? I continue my conversation with Issa Al-Hassan and Corentin regarding this issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Go man provi. Play boys. The team have a boy, team manager. FN Scobie. Our name is Sabaji, former House of Coach Chairman, every year. Oh, UFE and yeah. And that time, many courses fine. That time, through courses, they are picky. Near the big teams, no more. And my coach players need to be brave. This is Sakode, Ula Body. I be the playing in time. That time, I'm now from coach. I be playing no work for coach. That time, the coach need tough. And now, the beer cost. Yeah, the Bob. He said, "Has Nico to go and I think they are Boca Teresa." That was stadium. And big teams now the Bob. If you are a barras, are not Chinumune, Dadinum, you know, I pick Ras teams, no more Bahas, Kotoko, Olympics, not it. Almost teams in our both first and second division answer. No elective, and I win to table. Tina money competition very, very good. And you know, it's in a new sir, meaning say, oh, my forget about the course, no, it's the whole course, maybe. And our Premier League in Ukraine before I was born, I do fight a lot of Division 1, 2, and rubber Premier. And so sponsorship not there now. Anyhow, it's not before we be any boots. There's any boots. There's a boot in the body. So, and I mean, I'm never be real catchy. Oh, yeah, soccer. Yes, I'm California here, Adrian. Because my face will be very fine.
In those days, you know, you could tell from day one, you know, that we were playing excited. People came to the field to watch, you know. You could hear a player's name. People would come. There was a time I was traveling. I was in a flight, you know, and one guy came. He came and he was watching me from a distance, you know, we were in the same flight. We were on the same flight. And he said, he came closer to me and said, are you Issa Al-Hassan? I said, yeah. Then we were traveling to Egypt. And he said, shake me. By then I had long stopped football, you know, yeah, stopped playing football. So he said, hey, your days, you know, I was a hard supporter, but because of you, I came to field, because if Olympics is playing, I will come to the field. If I don't see you, I'll just go. You know, that was in those days. So we had talented boys, we had talented players, you know, exciting ones. When you come to that, you could see from the stands that, you know, the spectators, you could see those days when they say Olympics is playing has, you know, Kotoko, you know, you could judge from those times. But now you could see people are not going to the field, people are not going to watch football matches, because I believe it's not so exciting. Because if it's exciting, they should be there. You understand? Yeah. So that is how I see it. Yeah. Our days, hey, when we are playing, you could tell, you know. Yeah.
Don't forget to get interactive with us on social media. When we come back, Coach Sam Arday gives us insight into how Feyenoord Academy started. Stay tuned. He's called the multi-system man, and today you cannot mention the greatest coaches in Ghana without adding Coach Sam Arday. Now the technical director for Feyenoord Academy. We caught up with him at the academy's base in Gomwa.
I've been in football for so many years, and I played, though I didn't play to the Black Star level, I played to the first division level, Wise Policing. Yes, and through that I had many scholarships to do my coaching courses outside. After the coaching courses, I was attached also to various leading clubs, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Ajax, Feyenoord itself, and that sort of thing. After my maiden course in Germany, full academic year, where I received first class diploma, I took up the police team, which was then playing in the first division. Then from there, I went to the Accra Great Olympics, which was of a national entity more than the police team. Luckily for me, I won the knockout champion. That was the beginning of recognition for Coach Arday. And then I went to Okawa United, a very small team. For the first time, the team qualified to play in Africa. That was the Ntijai time, which made me a top coach already. And then from there, then I went to Accra House of Hope, won the league with them, crossed to Asante Kotoko, won the league with them, and then I was given various national teams. I did the under 17 for the World Championship. I did the under 20 for West African Champions. I did the under 23. It was the first medal African had in Barcelona. And I was then the head coach then. So it is a story which we cannot end. You understand me? So that's the ingest. That is Coach Arday for.
How did Feyenoord Academy come about?
It was through Mr. Brooking, the president managing director. We have two directors here, myself, technical director, and my managing director. So it was through him. And he had a friend in then the president of Feyenoord, Mr. Van der Rijck. And then he was also into this academy idea. And then he asked Brooking whether he would get an African who would be solid on the ground for the formation of the academy. Yes, and then Brooking said, no, it's not, it was not far-fetched. Coach Arday is somebody who knows in and out of football, how to train youngsters, and then they gave my credentials to him. And then we struck the deal. Football is not scientific. You have to teach the players all the scientific aspect of the game. If you leave them on their own, though they will grow up very good footballers, they won't be polished like diamonds. But we want to get the rough stone and polish them like diamonds. Hence these academies. And I think the best thing to happen to my country is this, the formation of academies in the country. You ask yourself whether in Europe they don't have academies. Then why should they come down to pick players from Africa? Unless the player is top, you understand me? So we have to prepare them, both overseas and here. You understand me? Yeah, so it is not, the idea is not to produce players only for Europe, because Europe they have in abundance. You understand me? Yes, but you teach the player at the teething stage, how to be a top-class player, how to move on the field tactically, physically, and then his speed work, and then his circulation on the field of play, his tactical discipline, and then that sort of multi-system idea, which was mooted some time ago. You teach the player. And for all that you get to know, you look at Barcelona, they start from 4-3-3, but before the end, then it is 4-5-1. You understand me? Yeah. So all these things you have to, and the most important stage to teach a player is the foundational stage. If you building and the foundation is not solid, the whole building will crumble. You understand me? So it is very, very difficult here, which is why people don't like to come down here. But it is the best place to develop players. We started with about 17 boys, and these boys were screened from a group of talented players, maybe around about 1,500, and we chose 17. So it's very difficult to enter the school. You understand me? Yes, this school is made up all players from all regions. So it is a Black Star in its context. You understand me? Yes. So we first go to the regions, we conduct the screening there, and then maybe about 20 talents, we sieve them, 2 will come, and then we add 2 to, when you get a number of about 15, they come here for the football test. Yes, and maybe out of about the 15 talents, we get about 5. Then we do it again and again. If we get about 17 players, then we form a generation with them. So that's how it goes. But it is very, very difficult to enter the school, because when you enter the school, we give you 5 years scholarship, where we look after you through to the SHS, free of charge. And then from there, you can write your contract with us. And then we also contact your parents, and then you go abroad or stay here. And so we're making them professionals from the beginning to the end.
Our impact is quite big, because we are a team who is forming young players, an academy who is forming young players, and that is something unique in Africa, especially around the years of 99 till 98. There were no academies except ASEC in Abidjan. But we are forming boys, young boys, and we can see now how many boys who are formed by us are playing in the leagues, in the local leagues, and outside Ghana too.
First, I was picked by a scout named Coach Prince. He was once a coach in this academy, but he's now being a scout. He brought me here, and I came and do my Justify for 2 weeks. And by God's grace, they took me as a player of Feyenoord. So I came here 16 September 2002. So since then, I've been here.
As a coach, I started here 2009 as a pioneer of the academy. We were the beginners of the academy, and as a player, I came here as a player, and I couldn't grow, and I had a little problems with growth and coordination. So the managing director and technical director, held a meeting with me and trying to give me this opportunity, because during my playing time, I was interested in writing, and then trying to even give training when I go back home, my coach team. So they saw that I have the talent to be a coach, so they introduced it for me, and yeah, I took it like that. But it wasn't easy to become a coach whilst your aim is to play in the professional football. So I took it, but then they helped me to travel to Europe for a series of attachment with Kevin McLean in Belgium, Feyenoord Rotterdam, Nice in France, and then yeah, so I had this opportunity. It was really good for me.
It comes to mind immediately Kotoko. You know, we started with Jordan, who became the captain of Asante Kotoko, who Asante Kotoko, and then Harrison Afo, who is now with Esperance, and then one of our first intake captain in the Premiership of Holland, Nana Kwesi Hassan, Utrecht to be precise. We have players like Mohamed, who is playing in Sweden. We have players like Emmanuel Dogbe, is also in Sweden. We have players like Yekini and others playing for the first division in Belgium. And then, you know, Kufu, Yafrimpong and others also, they are in abundance. If I want to talk about players distribution, then we won't finish today. So these are some of the players we will be able to produce.
He gave his thoughts on football academies in Ghana.
During our days, it was just like everybody playing his own game, but now, if you don't use a little bit of science, then you'll be behind. You understand me? Yes, because soccer is both art and science. For a player to pick a ball and put it through 8 feet by 24 feet, that's the goal post. It's both art and science, because you start from behind, you build up through the middle, and then we've got the completers. We call them strikers and other things. A striker completes what others have well begun, from the goalkeeper through the defense and other things. So you teach the player, anytime he's around the shooting angle, whether it's a striker or not, he has to bury the ball. All players around the 18th, and then when the shooting angle is open, they should be clinical. And that's what we are doing. It's pure science. So we have to go through that before. You know, for quite a long time, it's about 32 years now we won the African Cup. And we always boasting 4 times. Others are fastest. Egypt, Cameroon and others, they come in very fast. So if you don't go through the mill, and then you will be stagnant. And we want to also move forward. And that is the reason why I recommend academies for all the regions, so that those who will not be able to come to school in the academies, we also look at them properly. I mean, our course system should be pushed up